Om Sairam. Sripada Srivallabha Charithamrutham, Chapter 18, Part 2. Granting a cup for receiving alms to Vallabhesha by Sripada. In the meantime, a young Brahmin came there. His body was filled with dust. He belonged to the Kashyapa lineage and Apastamba Sutra. His name was Vallabheshwara Sharma. He came from Pitikapura Agraharam. Sripada enquired about the welfare of all his kith and kins in Pitikapuram in a very detailed manner. This was only a pleasing pastime for the omniscient one. Many people bought food preparations for the midday bhiksha. In the meanwhile, he extended his divine hands upwards as if he was receiving something. A large silver vessel filled with sweet preparation called kheer was received. Sripada directed me to distribute it to the disciples who were assembled there. The vessel never became empty even though kheer was distributed to many people. He ordered that food preparations bought by the disciples should be thrown into the river Krishna. That work was entrusted to Ravidas. The prasad of Swami was distributed even to the creatures in the water of the river. Sripada asked Vallabhesha to sit near him. I sat by the beside of Vallabhesha. A Kannada Brahmin by the name of Subbanna Sastri sat beside me. A poor Brahmin came and prayed to Swami to arrange a good match for his daughter to get married. Then Sripada said, "Why fear when I am here? Fear exists where there is sin. This Vallabhesha will be your son-in-law. Subbanna Sastri will officiate the marriage as a Purohit." The forefathers of Vallabhesha were very angry. The curse of the ancestors is not good for life. Only the obsequient and offerings of obligation made with devotion will reach the forefathers. They will reach them in on other way. Therefore, the indications from Garuda Puran should be read prior to reading marriage mantras. Receive a bit of turmeric for an auspicious married life of your daughter. The prasad which you receive today is a very rare one. The Malladi family, the Vatsavai family and the Sri Pinda Venkatappa Shestri in Pitikapuram prepared the pudding as an offering to me. I distributed it to you. Those who are troubled by spirits such as the ghosts and devils will get an immediate relief from this prasad. Those who grope in mystery of penure will have their wealth enhanced after taking this prasad. While Sripada was making this divine conversation, tears rolled from his cheeks. Sripada with a hoarse voice said, "My bound of indebtedness with the Malladi, Pindya, Venkatappa Shestri and Vatsavai families, I melt at their loving devotion. I will freely go into their kitchens in a subtle form, seeking something to eat. Not only those people, but I will move as a young boy in the houses of those who adore me with affection and devotion. The sound of my footsteps will always echo in their hearts. No one should stay during the nights at Karangudda without my permission. Orgies and fierce ghosts cry with extreme anguish for liberation. I devour them and grant them new and liberated bodies. Devas, celestials, yakshas, hidden forces and many elevated souls belonging to the Mahapadra come here for the chance of my darshan. Mahasiddha, Mahayogis, Mahapurush engaged in penance for many centuries come here excited with joy for my darshan, sparshan and conversation. You cross the river happily. My orders is to be compulsory compelled with. That was the command of Sripada. We crossed the river and reached the village. On the river bank, Subbanna Sastri made the bride and the bridegroom sit in the house of their bride's father. He was reading mantras. Sastri only knew marriage mantras, but he had no knowledge about the mantras for the funeral and related procedure. Moreover, he had heard such funeral mantras being read after making the bride and bridegroom sit for marriage. He never heard or found such mantras. Subarna Sastri sat in the position of the presiding priest after meditating upon Sripada. Incarnations were coming out of his mouth effortlessly. This created wonder Subarna Sastri. After this activity was completed, the marriage was performed with marriage mantras. A turmeric root was tied to the bride instead of Mangal Sutra. The bride's father as well as the bridegroom were penniless. The Brahmins who came for the marriage complained and left for the marriage venue since the marriage was not conducted strictly according to the traditions. Vallabhesha had no parents. The parents of the bride and the bridegroom, the priest and myself, totaling 5 only, were present beside the bride. Then we went for the darshan of Sripada along with the newly married couple. Sri Swami blessed us and made us happy. He instructed us to remain in meditation in his presence for some time. I visualized the future of Vallabhesha as soon as I went in meditation. Vallabhesha was trading turmeric. He decided that he would arrange the worship of 1000 Brahmins in Kuruvapuram. After gaining profits in his business, he earned plenty of money by the grace of Sripad, but he was postponing the fulfillment of the oath. In the meanwhile, Sripada disappeared in Karangudda and remained incognito. Only the Padukas of Sripada were in Karangudda. While Vallabhesha was carrying money to Karangudda, 4 thieves joined him in guise of travelers and killed him. While he was being beheaded, he remembered Sripada. Sripada came in form of an ascetic with a trident in his hand and slayed the 3 thieves. The 4th one submitted that he never committed any theft, that the other 3 thieves met him on the midway and that he collided with them under the influence of their arguing words. He prayed for protection. The compensate Srideva granted him assurance and gave some holy ash, commanding him to sprinkle it on the body of Vallabhesha to join his head and the torso. From the ambrosial grace of Sripada, Vallabhesha regained life. Vallabhesha learnt all what happened from the thieves. There was no limit for his astonishment and happiness. He was sorry that he could not get the fortune of seeing Sripada. The thief was happy that he could have the darshan of Sripada on account of Vallabhesha. Vallabhesha realized his mistake and he had the capacity long back to offer a feast to 1000 people. At the present time, he could easily grant feast of food for even 4000 people. To make amends for unnecessary delay which resulted in many difficulties, Vallabhesha arranged a grand food festival in Karangudda for 4000 Brahmins, the cosmic form of Sripada. After some time, Sripada ordered us to open our eyes. Afterwards, Sripada observed, "In my presence, no action takes place without a cause. The way of creation is indeed very strange. It is strange that having no form, I have come in front of you within the form of a man. It is a wonder that I have no qualities, I am seeing you. I have no qualities, I am seeing by you as having qualities. It is strange that I have no limits and boundaries. I am seen as having limits and boundaries. All forces are in my hand. I am the one who resides in each and every atom of the vast universe. I am the resolve that binds together one atom with another. I am the Rudra of the full destruction, blasting each and every atom, preparing the ground for the process of a new creation. I am the ancient phenomena that teaches you what knowledge is and what ignorance is. I enjoy by throwing all the living creatures into a variety of illusions. I am one who rushes with 1,000 hands to the successor of those who call me in disaster. I am the ancient one who protects them. I am the real. I am who is present in all creatures as I am. You should have been surprised if omnipresence, omnipotent and omniscient are not within me. What is there for you to be surprised when those aspects are evident and experienced by you? When Gurudeva, who was the personifications of Parabrahma, was speaking like that, the sound of a bell was heard from somewhere. To the astonishment of all, the bell descended near the auspicious feet of Sripada. After a few moments, it disappeared while all were looking for it. Sripada's respect for all women as mother. Sripada said, "This incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha is a great incarnation that grants instantaneous results. No Avaduta can obtain complete perfection without remembering my name. He cannot overcome the obstacles to yoga. Oh Vallabhesha, listen. When your father died in your childhood, I know how your parental uncle subjected you to many difficulties and turned you into a beggar by snatching your property. I also understand that the children also harbored enmity towards you. After that death, your parental uncles will be born and will become thieves. They will plan to plunge your money on your way to Karangudda. If you remember my name, I will immediately appear there and kill those 3 robbers with my trident. I will leave the 4th one because he is not very guilty." On hearing the words of Sripada, wife of Vallabhesha began to shed tears. Then Sripada said, "Mother, I Sripada Srivallabha see in every woman Akhanda Saubhagyavati Sumati Maharani who gave me birth. I am always an infant child in the lap of that great mother. Don't grieve. Preserve the turmeric root which I gave you. That will confirm all auspiciousness in you. You will live like a Sumangali. My law is unchangeable like a rock edict. It is not possible for any force in the creation to alter it. I want to make the name of my father, who is my first guru and the one who initiated me into the Gayatri mantra, eternal. Therefore, my incarnation will take the word Narasimha from the name of my father and added application Saraswati, which will be known as Narasimha Saraswati. I desire to render the form of my grandfather Bappannaraya long lasting for that purpose. The figure of Narasimha Saraswati will exactly resemble my grandfather in all respects. My grandfather is my second guru. I received a Vedic education from him. The bell that you see now was once in the house of my grandfather. It will be moving to many countries and bless spiritual aspirants according to my will. It will travel beneath the layers of the earth as well as the outer layers of the earth. Shankarbhat, the bell will return to Pithigapuram when the 18th chapter, the number that represents victory in the Sripada Srivallabha Charithamrutham, which has been written by you, reaches Pithigapuram. The bell will undergo many changes of shapes and measurements and will move accordingly to my will. A great Sansthan will be established in the house of my grandfather. I will send to Pithigapuram the bell ringing victory as a mark of my love. This brings to the end of the chapter 18. We will continue chapter 19 in the next episode. Om Sai Ram.